Good evening, everybody. Let me just get this up on here. Oh, there's quite a few people already there on Facebook. Good evening. Let me know, those of you that are watching live in the group. I know a few of you are already there with your pen and paper this evening. So I have got a very special guest with me tonight. If you came along to Womanifest, you will have seen her because this is Rachel. Rachel Withers. Rachel spoke on our main stage on Saturday. You were on Saturday with me?
I was on Saturday. Yes, I was on Saturday morning. Yeah, great event, fantastic.
It was fab, and we were just talking earlier before we went live that
to get together.
Yeah, we were very, very lucky to go ahead and do that. So this is the first time me and Rachel have seen each other or even spoke to each other since then. So we've just been having a bit of a laugh about the comedy of coronavirus and how that's affected us all. But anyway, tonight...
And hair roots, I think.
So tonight, Rachel is with us with her masterclass. So tonight, Rachel is going to be sharing with us. And the title of our masterclass is Developing a Winning Mindset. So this is all about unlocking your potential, how to take control and bring personal power to kind of everything you do. And when you step into that, then you've got the belief to do more, give more, be more, and create that kind of legacy which inspires others the same. So I'll let Rachel tell you a little bit about herself and what she does. I won't steal her thunder there. And then we'll get stuck in. So if you've got questions as you go along, I've got my eye on the chat in Facebook. So if you want to ask any questions in there. Good evening, Kerry. Hi, Emma. Hi, Donna. Hi, Karen. Hi, Ellie. Kyla's here as well, but it's good afternoon, not good evening for Kyla because she's in Canada. And then I think there is also, and then Angela is on Zoom. So evening, Angela. So I've got to do a bit of double watching tonight. So I'm going to hand over to you, Rachel, and let you take it away. Like this. So over to you.
Well, hi everyone. It's absolutely fantastic to be here. And yes, I'm going to be chatting about really how to develop a winning mindset and how that you can bring that into all that you do. I'm also going to tell you a little bit about myself and why I'm so passionate about this topic and how I've really used it to, well, turn my life around. I started as a dancer and I left the dance world, but I'll go into that later on as we go through the masterclass tonight. I've got some slides as well, and I will share my screen. And if at any time, I do something wrong, I'm okay technically. I'm not brilliant. We'll see how I get on tonight with it. But really, my true passion is to really unlock people's potential. So that's whether that's for their business, whether that's actually for their personal life, or just to really find and do what you love and really do your dream. You see, for me, I really believe that the most important thing is that we have to be a lifelong learner. We have to grow and we really have to develop. And what tends to happen is that we have this dream that we want to do something, but we get those niggling thoughts come into our mind, and we really don't actually realize our true potential. So I'm going to go through tonight, this masterclass. I'm going to really show you the steps that I've used to, I hope, unlock my potential. And as I say, I am an absolute firm believer that we are lifelong learners, and the growth mindset, we are continuously learning, we are continuously developing, and with that comes more success, and you will attract more success. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to really want you to think about, imagine, and this I can really deal with, my children are a lot older now, but I can really think about and relate to this one. As a mum, you've just spent all day cleaning your house. Your house is absolutely spotless. And then someone lets a toddler in, a toddler with finger paints, and it's secretly let into a room. Well, if you're anything like me already, you'll probably be starting to feel a little bit kind of nervous and edgy about it. And that toddler is just creating chaos in that room. Well, if we removed the toddler from that beautifully tidy room that you've done, and we put that toddler into the right environment, if we gave that toddler a nice paper and put it in an environment that it could grow and develop and explore with those finger paints, we would have a completely different outcome. And that's how I tend to liken the mind, and that's how I tend to think about it. That toddler with the finger paints going all over your beautifully clean, tidy room has just created complete and utter chaos. But in the right environment and developed the right way, there is a completely different outcome. And that's really what I want you to think about as we're going through this training tonight. I want you to think about that toddler and the chaos, and if in the right environment, what that outcome could be. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to share my slides, and I'm going to sort of go through how I feel is the keys to really developing a winning mindset. So just bear with me 1 second while I share my screen.
You're in good company when it comes to teching about, you know what I'm like, trying to get all these things happening at the same time.
Okay, I'm on host disabled attendee screen sharing. So
right. Let me let you do it then.
Let me in.
I know how to do this. You should be allowed now.
Thank you. Let me have a quick look. Yeah, that's perfect. So, okay, so obviously I've done a nice slide there just to tell you that we are going to talk about developing a winning mindset and really unlocking your potential. So what I want you to think about is there is an amazing author and speaker, no longer with us, called Jim Rohn. And he said, you become what you think about most of the time. Now, this is an absolutely startling truth. And I believe it's enough to convince anyone to pay more attention to how their mind works and whether it's working for or against them. So I'm now going to really want you to think about the subconscious and the conscious mind. Now, the subconscious mind really actually tells the conscious what to believe. So when you have those negative thoughts that are in the subconscious, that goes down into the conscious mind, and what happens, we actually act that. And that is really what we're going to try to change here tonight, is we're going to try and change what is the subconscious mind thinking about, and how those negative self-talk that you do, how that has such an impact on how you act and how you behave. So for me, I was a dancer, I was a ballet dancer, and what happened was I was truly exceptionally talented, and I trained at the Royal Ballet School, and I went on to perform on stage, had a great career. But I'm a little bit short, and I had to really think about my weight, and they were quite critical at times on how my appearance was and everything. Even though I got into the school, I was performing with the company, it was all quite critical. And what happened was that criticism that I listened to from external people got into my subconscious. And what happened was I started to believe it. Mm. And as I started to believe that, I can't actually tell you one impact that actually had on my ability to perform. I'd started as a child as a dancer, and it was my dream, my absolute dream, and I was I believed I was going to be that ballerina on stage. And when I had that belief, everything just, progressed and progressed and progressed. And success, I attracted success. But then when really very, very formative years in terms of being 16, 17, 18, training at such a high disciplined level down at the Royal Ballet School, they really were very, very ruthless. And I started to listen, and I actually forgot that belief that I had in my own ability. And with that, my performances actually really started to deteriorate, really. I was less confident on stage, and I slowly started to withdraw from the dance world. Now, I carried on for a number of years, but I really didn't feel particularly great. And eventually, actually, I left the dance world, and I truly and honestly wanted absolutely nothing to do with it. I couldn't watch anything. I couldn't go to the theatre. I didn't want to hear about any of it. I just thought, I've really had enough of this, because I was so low. And that was all the negative self-talk, all that had got really through to affecting how I performed and my whole thought processes and how I acted. So I absolutely completely left the dance world. And then a number of years later, I started to think about that. And I'd started reading kind of the mindset books, and I'd got 2 kids, and I still was lacking confidence. But then what happened was I started to go to the gym because I needed to get into shape. My kid, I was really just a little lost. And with that, I started to do exercises that were my ballet related exercises. And then what happened was I started to take ballet classes, and I was still lacking confidence, but slowly but surely, reading my mindset at the same time, I started to find myself, and my absolutely driving force was the fact that I realized that I'd let other people's opinions, other people's what I thought were their, perception of me, absolutely have a great impact on my life. And I really did not want my children to never realize their dreams, never have any self-belief. And this is really an absolute driving force now as to why I do this, because I want to create a community, one woman, one step at a time, so that we can lead and be an example to absolutely future generations. So we can be that example, so we can tell them that we've done what we truly want to do. We've pursued our passions, we've fulfilled our dreams, we've supported one another, and we have really followed what we truly are destined to do. I believe we all have a gift. I think we have a few gifts, and it's such a waste to listen to what everybody else and yourself, we all have fears and we all have doubts, and listen to that and not actually really step into our power and do truly what we are destined and what we should be doing. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move on to what I've learned in my journey that are the key steps that I really do use to keep me on track and really in focus in terms of keeping my mindset where I want it to be. So I'm going to now move on to the next slide, if it will let me. Just bear with me. Yes, it has. So I've got a little acronym here for you. I've got POWER for you. So POWER for me is pursue your passion. It's to operate with a clear vision. It's to work at it every day. And it's to establish small steps to build momentum. And you've really got to rely on grit and not talent, as I've kind of been telling you just a little bit earlier on. So that is what I really believe you can really use to gain a winning mindset. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into the first part of this, which is pursue your passion. So I really do believe that with determination, it alone will not lead to success. If you're not passionate about what you do, if you really don't love what you do, I just don't feel you're going to have that motivation and that drive to keep you going. Look, I drive, I drive my kids around everywhere. I'm a chauffeur, but I most certainly don't want to be a racing driver. That's not, something I want to do. So I want you to just close your eyes and just really think about what is your gift and what is your passion, what really motivates you and what drives you. Because if you have that and you keep hold of it, if it's in your head and you keep it in your heart, you can truly have it in your hand. Honestly, I can't believe from where I was in my business to where I am now. I'm found my passion again for dancing. I have an amazing brand, Bally Be Fit, where I am teaching other women to teach other people my Bally fitness concept. I never thought that would be possible, but I found my passion again and I found my winning mindset. And that's what I want you to do. I want you to really close your eyes right now and just think about what is your passion? What is it that you really, really want to do? And I just want you to take a moment just to write that down.
Can I ask a little question about
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
Rachel? Thank you. Because do you know what? We've got really interesting mix in the lounge, in that we've got a number of women that have probably in recent years taken the leap, left something behind that didn't float their boat, that they weren't passionate about, and have set up their own businesses, and now they're growing and they're doing their passion every day. So I kind of half expect some of the group to be able to do that straight away and write down what they're passionate about. And I've been able to do that, but I was thinking back to when I wasn't doing something that I was passionate about. So when I worked in my corporate rat race days, and I really wasn't passionate about that. And I know a number of another proportion of our members are still in that corporate world. Some of it are loving it, and it is what their passion is, but there's always that group of people that are doing it and don't love it. They're not passionate about it. And I remember being asked that question about, well, what are you passionate about? And I really didn't know. And I think there's a lot of women that have no clue what they are passionate about. Have you ever come across that? Or do you have any, what would you say to people that might get stuck about figuring out what they're passionate about?
I truly believe I think, as I say, we all have gifts, we all have something to offer. And if you get that tingly feeling when you think about something, that is usually your passion. My passion was dancing, but also my passion is I get a tingling feeling when I think about adding value to other people's lives, be that in whatever capacity that is. And I think most people want to feel valued and want to give value. And therefore, you will find your passion by where you want to give, in my opinion, your value. What is it that you want to offer to someone? Because as an amazing guy, Earl Nightingale, said, and this is about success, truly, if you give value in whatever you do in the workplace, in the home, you will become more valuable. You will actually attract success more. The more value you offer, never go on a monetary level, always go on a personal value level. And that way you will actually become naturally more successful in whatever you do. And for me, sometimes people lose the way that in terms of thinking about what is their passion. But I think if they just spend a bit of time and just get that little tingly feeling when they do something and they think, God, that felt good. That mattered to me. They're probably along the right lines of the passion. I don't know whether that helps you.
Well, Ellie, one of our members, has commented, and actually I asked the question because I was thinking about you, Ellie. I hope you don't mind. But she's put that I've been trying to figure this out for years and I can't find it. And then a sighing face emoji. And it can be tough. It can be tough. And, I think it can take some time to really dig deep, and it can be quite uncomfortable sometimes searching through for that. And I guess, I'm with Rachel there, absolutely, about the thing, warms the cockles of your heart or gives you that tingly feeling you're getting close to something that does kind of set your soul on fire. And if you can't find something that does that to you, I don't know what you think about this, Rachel. Tell me if you think something different. I would be going all out to have more experiences in my life then to see if there are things out there that I've never experienced before that do give me that feeling. I don't know. What do you think about that?
No, I completely think that. And I think sometimes, and I'm going to go on to it a little bit later on. It's absolutely, no, it's fine, because I'd rather have a conversation about everything. Yeah. Sometimes if you truly fear it and you're out of your comfort, it's out of your comfort zone. That can sometimes be your passion too. You just need to know that sometimes if it's slightly scary, you're very, very close to being where your passion is or where your direction is. I think because we get used to being in our comfort zone and we don't stretch yourself, and this is exactly what you're saying about experiences. Mm-hmm. If you don't experience, you don't go out of your comfort zone, you're not going to find your direction. It's just not going to happen. So you have to stretch yourself. And when that fear's there, for me and the people that, the ladies that I've coached before, when they're at that, that's usually when they find their passion, they find their purpose, they find the place. That's my experience of it. I don't know whether that helps. Ellie, wasn't it? I don't know whether that helps you at all.
There's one other thing actually that's just popped into my head, and it's come about because of something that you said just at the beginning there. When you were saying about the subconscious and how some of those beliefs that you when things were going great, it was fantastic, but actually, when some of the criticism and the high standards kicked in, that started to chip away at some of that confidence and that self-belief. And I remember thinking to myself, I kind of had a dream, an unspoken dream that I don't think I ever told anybody, about running my own business. It was only this, but at the time, it felt so far away. And I remember the thought that I used to think was, but things like that don't happen to people like me. And that was the thing that stopped me ever connecting with a passion, because it was almost like I shut it down straight away, because it doesn't happen to people like you, Jodie. That's for all those people over there, for those special people who are better than you or cleverer than you or more successful than you or richer than you, whatever it may be. And it was only when I was able to break through that I could then connect with a passion. So I don't know whether that helps either, Ellie. Sorry.
No, and I think but it is truly that, and the issue there is, at a young age, our mind is formed, our subconscious is formed. I think it's around ridiculous at the age of 5 even. Mm-hmm. Our mind is sort of formed as to what, what our beliefs are, and that's our beliefs are through our childhood, external influences. We all believed when we were kids we could fly to the moon or we could do whatever we wanted to do. I mean, let's think about Walt Disney creating out of his mind, Disney. We're all capable of amazing things. We're no different. It's just we have to have that belief that we can, and we have to completely go and eradicate those I'm not good enough, I can't do. What you put after I is really, really important. I can, I am enough, I can do it, I will be able, I will. And if you're not sure, if you're really struggling with something, put an if there. If I do, think of it as finding a solution, not an instant I can't do it. Think, if I did this, would this work? So that you're actually thinking about a solution to something, so that it's not as great leap from I can't to I can if you're struggling. It just is a really good tool to use.
Yeah, I think we've definitely hit them there just before, because I'll let you move on to number 2.
No, it's fine.
Ellie's commented and saying, yeah, trapped by fear of failure. And then Donna's commented saying that's been exactly her mindset for the past 20 years. It's so true that she didn't believe she could have a dream. She's actually, broke through that now and gone past it, and is coming out the other side. Donna's business is booming at the moment, so she's starting to believe in herself at last. Cool.
That's fantastic, and it is amazing. It is truly is about belief. So you need to really think about that. And I've just actually got in front of me from a researcher and author, Brené Brown. This is one of her quotes, and it's really interesting we're talking about this. She says, "Stop walking through the world looking for confirmation that you don't belong. You will always find it because you've made that your mission. Stop scouring people's faces for evidence that you're not enough. You will always find it because you've made that your goal. True belongings and self-worth are not goods. We don't negotiate their value with the world." So it's got to come from inside. And one of my sayings is, design your life from the inside out.
Yeah.
If you got it from the inside, what happens externally will happen. If we start looking for confirmation from other people that we are good enough, and I think that's like the pleaser thing as a child, all that comes into it. It's all of that. We really have to be from the inside out and believe in ourselves.
Yeah. Ellie, so the book, the lady that Rachel's talking about, Brené Brown, this is her book. I don't know whether this is going to show up. We're back to front writing. Anyway, it's called Daring Greatly. Ellie lives down the road from me, so I'm going to drop this round to your house. I'm going to lend it to you. It's a bit battered. It's been on holiday with me. It's travelled well. I do want it back, though, because it's one of my favourites. I like to read it every now and then. But you can borrow this. This is the book for you, my dear. Right. Sorry, I derailed us.
No, it's fine. Okay, so passion is energy. Feel the power that comes from focusing on what excites you. And Oprah Winfrey, well, there you go.
Can't argue with Oprah, can you?
You can't argue with Oprah. So I'll move on. So now we've got, and I don't know why that won't work. So operate with a clear vision. And we've been actually talking about fear. And what we were saying was, if you slightly find it a bit scary, you're usually on the right track. But we've got to operate with a really clear vision. So you've got to think what it is. You can't have something kind of blurry, oh, I kind of want this or I kind of want that. You've got to know exactly what it is you want. For example, if you were baking a cake, if you know what the end result is, so you know that you've got to put all the ingredients in there. You can't put half the ingredients in and expect the right result. Well, it's exactly the same when you're looking at what you want to do, whether that's if it's your business, if it's in business, for example, think about the type of clients you want to work with. Think about the hours that you want to work. Think about the lifestyle that you want. Think about how you're going to deliver everything, and write all that down. And then you can start to think about how that's actually going to fit with the vision that you have. And you want to really make it as if you're living it and you're breathing it, because if you visualize and you're visualizing that it's not happening, if you visualize you're actually running that successful business and it's happening right now, again, your subconscious is actually going to tell your conscious that that is happening. So you will actually start to act differently to thinking that it's something in the difference. Act as if it's in the moment, and also write down exactly what it is. Like I say, what your clients are, how your business operates, as if it's happening now. I'm so happy and grateful that I have an amazing set of clients who are respectful, who don't miss appointments, that type of thing. And write all that down, and then it'll start to attract and really happen. But also start to write that out, what you want your business to look like, so that you can actually structure that, or what you want your relationship to be like, for that matter. It's or your lifestyle. It's across every area of your life. It has to be that, and then you can start to feel that you're in it, and you can start to work out ways for it to happen. So that's what I mean by operating really with a clear vision. I mean, I have a vision board. I absolutely adore vision boards.
Me too.
You do, yeah. They're amazing.
I'm looking at mine right now.
Are you looking at yours?
Yeah.
And it keeps you completely and utterly focused on where you want to go, but you also feel like you're right in it at the same time. And I mean, I've been known to kind of put like a certain outfit on that I want to wear and make me feel like the way I want to feel. But it's like makeup, isn't it? Or it's like anything. You have your hair done and you feel so much better, and you feel so much more confident about where you are. And it's exactly, that's what a vision, a board is doing. It's the same as having your hair done, putting makeup on. It's putting you in that time, in that moment, so that your subconscious actually begins to take it through into your conscious. So operate with a clear vision as well. As anybody got any questions on that before I move on?
Can't say any at the moment, but yeah, you know what? Here's one thing that crops up in my work, and this is really interesting. So, independently, I coach women around assertiveness, and one of the things that shows up hugely as one of the first kind of obstacles is it's important, if you're going to be an assertive woman, it's important to know what you want. So that's one of the very first questions I'll explore with my clients is, what is it that you want? Now, when I ask people that question, what they answer with is what they don't want rather than what they want.
Yeah.
And that's back to your point of, if your brain is consumed with all the things that you are trying to get away from, all the things that you don't want anymore, that you'd like to get rid of, then that's the stuff that just is going to hang around and stick around, because, what you focus on, you get. Whereas doing the work, and it's not easy figuring out what you want, but if you do the work and you figure out what it is that you want, i.e., then you can have a clear vision. You can't have a clear vision if you haven't worked out what you want. And then when you've got what you want, the rest is easy, isn't it? And you attract it.
It just starts fun. Yeah. Attract it, and it starts to fall. It really starts to fall in place. And if you've got that clear vision, it helps you to answer fear and any pressing questions, because it enables you to work the answers out. So you really got to know what you want. Absolutely, and have that vision of what your future is and live in it. I mean, I listen to a recording of myself every morning with nice music, saying, again, I'm so happy and grateful for what my life, what my life is and everything. And I've got a series of them. They're like kind of, and I've stacked them up. So one year it was this, and then, oh God, that's happened. And then the next year it's this. And it's amazing. And write a letter to yourself saying, what you really want, and keep looking at it. And then sometimes put it away, and then take it back in 6 months' time, and it's amazing. I mean, I believe in manifestation and everything. So it's all part, it's all part of that as well. So next step, which is pretty crucial, is work at it every day. So Pablo Picasso, this is a wonderful quote: "Our goals can only be reached through a vehicle of a plan in which we must fervently believe and upon which we must vigorously act. There is no other route to success. You're not going to get it if you literally don't do anything about it. You have to take action, and you have to work at it every day. And that doesn't mean that you have to work at it from God knows what time in the morning to God knows what time at night, but pick an area of what you are wanting to focus on. And I'll go on to goal setting and breaking it down into steps a little bit later on in this. But it really is about thinking, I want to achieve this. I need to work on this area every single day. For me, what was holding me back, and for anybody I really talked to, is mindset. So what did I focus on? I focused on working on my mindset. And with that, everything else started to fall into place. Focus on your mindset. Focus on who you are. Remove that self-talk. Practice that. Really work. If you hear yourself say, oh God, I can't do this, go, oops, negative thought. Nope, that's not going to happen. I can. I'm capable. And really do that. It's like I always use ballet. It's how I use examples. But for example, a girl at a dance class, she's got a step that she just can't quite work out. What does she do? She practices it every single day, works on it every single day. And with that, gradually, she begins to get it, and eventually she accomplishes that step. And it is exactly the same with whatever you do in life. You will get better at it. Practice makes perfect. I don't believe anything's ever perfect. I think we are all wonderful, and whatever we do is perfect. I truly believe, though, to acquire and get better and develop yourself, you've got to keep practicing it. And that's something that, for me, work at it every single day and the progression will happen.
Yeah, definitely. Agreed. It's like, even with your mind, you've got to flex your mind like you flex your muscles. So it does link to your ballet analogy perfectly. You know, to master some of those moves in ballet, you know, you've got to have the right muscles doing the right action at the right time in the right place. And it's exactly the same with your mindset, isn't it? It's about treating your mind like a muscle.
Absolutely. Yeah. We exercise our body. We hopefully do. We hopefully look after it. You've got to look after your mind exactly the same. So, yes. So then the next one is, and this is, I think, is really important, is establish small steps to build momentum. So, and I love this quote as well by Zig Ziglar. People often say that motivation doesn't last. Well, neither does bathing. That's why we recommend it daily. Well, it's a similar kind of thing as to practicing and doing something daily. However, if you break something down into steps, you're actually going to see it working. You're going to see that you're actually achieving something, so that you don't get disheartened. You actually go, I've achieved that, and I'm moving on to the next step towards my goal. Breaking down your goal into bite size that doesn't feel overwhelming is so important. It's like going on a journey, isn't it? You start at A and you end up at B, at your destination. Well, you've got to think how you get from A to B, and you've got to go left at the roundabout, straight along the road here, right there. And it's exactly the same, mapping out what you do with your goal. Map it out and take steps. And when you've achieved that, you can tick it off, but also you can give yourself a massive, great big pat on the back and go, I've done that. And with that gratitude and that feeling of achievement, that will actually spur you on to the next step and the next step. And before you know it, you've got to where you want to go. Now, you can have a massive lifelong, goal that's a 5-year goal, break it down into a 3-year, into a 2-year, into a 1 year, into a 6 month, into 3 months, into a month, into weeks, even a day, plan what you're going to achieve, break it down, and before you know it, you'll get there. And I'm a true believer in give yourself a big, massive pat on the back when you've achieved something and go, I did that, I achieved that, and then you can move on to the next one, and it'll just motivate you all the way through.
Yeah, because otherwise you kind of, sometimes it can look like a mountain, not a molehill, can't it? And that's why the motivation wanes, is because it seems so overwhelming. Like, how on earth am I ever going to do that? You know, and actually, I experience overwhelm quite a lot, frequently. But when I do, sometimes I'll sit here at this desk thinking, oh my God, I've just got so much to do. I don't even know where to start. I know what I want to achieve, but it's just like a big heap of stuff at the minute. And when I feel like that, I just ask myself one question, and that is, Jodie, what is the one thing, just one thing that you're going to do today that will move your business forward? And you can replace the word business with whatever you like, but just what's the one thing that'll take one step forward? Doesn't have to get you to the top of the mountain today, but just take one step upwards. And that always just helps me to ground myself and breathe and settle, and then feel that sense of progress and a sense of achievement when I go. And quite often I'll do that one then quite quickly, and I think, oh, well, I'll do another little one now. And before I know it, I've done 4.
Exactly. And it is thinking, what can I do to reach, and breaking it and completely breaking it. It's like losing weight, isn't it? You can't lose a stone overnight, but you can lose a pound of weight. Yeah, we all wish we could. But it's not going to happen.
And then when it's not gone in the morning, when I wake up, I think, stuff it, and eat cake again at lunch.
You've got to align your goal, you know, with your, what's in your mind, align it. But it's so true, and you can't just. It doesn't happen like that. It's not going to lead. No. It's steps. Yeah. Absolutely. So, so very, very true. Eat the cake. Yeah, I love it. Just eat the cake. Okay. So what we've got is. Rely on grit over talent. Now,
I love that word. I love that word.
Yeah, I love grit. I absolutely love grit. And now, I think this is quite an interesting sort of quote from Michelle Obama, because it sort of ties back to a little bit what I mentioned at the beginning. What's my driving force for everything? So what she says is, when I get up and work out, I'm working out just as much for my girls as I am for me, because I want them to see a mother who loves them dearly, who invests in them, but also invests in herself. It's just as much about letting them know as a young woman that it's okay to put yourself a little higher on the priority list. Now, why I chose that is, I think to have true grit and the right attitude, you've got to understand what your driving force truly is, because you can have the talent and you can have the passion, but you've got to have something that's driving you there. Like for me, it's, I want to be an inspiration for future generations, because I want them to understand that they can truly achieve what they want and what they dream. And I want to have that when you're young, it doesn't get knocked out of you. We work on the younger generations, them understanding what the subconscious mind truly is, so that it's not knocked out. So we have a future generations of people that are doing and making a contribution and adding value to their lives and other people's lives. And that's what I think, having the right attitude and having the right motivation will give you that grit that you need to truly stick it out, because things will happen. It's the way it is.
It's a word I use quite a lot in my work too, and because, you know, when it comes to assertiveness, a lot of people will think it's just about, you know, calling a spade or being able to speak up for yourself and whatever the case may be. And it's not that, and it's so much more than that. Because a huge part of it is about tenacity and perseverance and not throwing the towel in at the first hurdle. You know, because quite often I'll be having a coaching conversation with somebody, and let's just say they've got a problem with their mother-in-law, right? And their mother-in-law keeps coming round to their house. Quite often the mother-in-law, you'd be surprised. You know, she keeps coming round and telling her how to parent and tutting at the way she does things and what she gives the kids for tea and all of that stuff. And I'll say to us, like, right, so are you going to have a conversation with your mother-in-law about this then? I have. I'll be like that. Okay, right. And what did you say? Well, I said this, that, and the other. Great. Then what did you do? She didn't do anything. She didn't change. Okay. And then what did you do? Well, nothing. I'd told her, haven't I? And it's that, don't expect one conversation to fix the world. You know, it's about persistence beats resistance. And it's about, right, well, I'm going again, and I'm going again, and not with the same thing, because it was Einstein or somebody said that was the definition of insanity, doing the same thing repeatedly and expecting a different result. But it's about, okay, that first conversation didn't work, but I'm not done yet. I'm going to say this a little bit different, or I might land that point instead, and you have another go, and you see where that gets you. And if that doesn't work, you tweak it again and go again. And it's that about things for me that this is it, isn't it? It's that kind of grit that gets you places, not talent, not skill, not all of that stuff. It's the perseverance to think, no, I'm not done yet.
Yeah. Absolutely. And it's as well when I was sort of saying about, you have to think about getting solutions, not I can't do this. It's how do I do this? Yeah. How do I deal with this? How do I get through this? Because the minute you change that, you know, can't to a how, you actually already believe that you can do it. And that will really help to drive you forward and carry on, and that motivation at the same time. And it's all of these factors for me that put together really will get you to have the right mindset and to be stepping into your true power, really. Stepping into where you need to be and doing and living your life on your own terms. That's something that you've got to live your life on your own terms, not for anybody else. It has to be from the inside.
Yeah.
Okay. So here we go. So power. So here we go. It's pursue your passion, operate with a clear vision, work at it every day, establish small steps to build momentum, and rely on grit over talent. And if you do that, mindset is everything. You will cultivate a winning mindset and go further than ever before. And that's my masterclass on how to develop a winning mindset. So I'll stop sharing my acronym.
I love that acronym. It works brilliantly because it's the perfect word to be the acronym in this scenario. And those 5 steps are fantastic to help you get into that, I'm going to call it headspace, to be able to take back your own power and step into your own kind of space and live your life. So that's great. Thank you. I love that. I really enjoyed it.
Oh, I'm glad you heard it. Has anybody got any questions before we close?
If anybody's got any questions, Rebecca's just gone saying, hi ladies, sorry I'm late. You'll have to catch up on replay, Rebecca. So if you've got any questions, there's a few seconds, there's about 10 seconds delay in Facebook. So I'll just give them a minute in case they have any. Yeah. But whilst, just in case, do you want to tell them how people can find out more about you, how they can connect with you, that kind of stuff?
Yes, you can connect with me by really jumping on my website, which is rachelwithershq.co.uk, or you can just pop me an email, rachel.withers@rachelwithershq.co.uk. And if you do that, I'll happily send out, I've got a great little booklet on goal setting and how to break it down. So if anybody wants a copy of that, all they need to do is just send me a nice email, rachel.withers@rachelwithershq.co.uk, and I'll send the ebook out to them, which is The Art of Goal Setting. So it's all about setting goals.
Just putting your email address into the chat. on there. So rachel.withers@rachelwithershq.co.uk, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah.
I've bumped that in so that if anybody wants to do that, feel free, get in touch with Rachel and she will gladly send you a copy of that goal setting workbook. You've also got a page on Facebook, so they can head over and find you on Facebook, can't they?
Yeah.
On there. So Ellie says, lots to think about. Thank you very much. It was really interesting. Karen says, really interesting. Thank you. And Donna says, really enjoyed that masterclass. Thank you very much.
Oh, that's lovely. And I've actually got, if you jump onto my Facebook next week, I've got my new live stream, Mindset Matters. That's on the Success channel, which is with Nick Nanton over in America. So if they jump on my yeah, I know, I'm super excited, really, really excited. If they jump on my Facebook, they'll be able to link into that and actually get some nice live streams and replays on some other mindset training, growth, development. I've got some amazing guests coming on there every single month. Brilliant. So that's an interesting one to look out for too.
Definitely. Sally and Kerry have also commented and said, yeah, thank you very much. And so has Lucy.
Oh, well, thank you. It's been an absolute pleasure and great to see you again. And hopefully, we might be able to catch up in person.
Hopefully sometime soon. We've got two Lucys, Lucy with a Y and Lucy with an IE. The other Lucy's just said, thanks very much. Loads of great inspiration. So yes, thank you ever so much. I will let you go. Thank you for giving up your time and your value and sharing it with everybody. And yes, we'll stay in touch and we'll see you soon. Have a lovely evening. Oh, and did I see a little scamp running in the background a minute ago?
Oh, there's two down at my feet. Yeah, we've got a little more.
Well, I want to see one.
Here we go. New little puppy.
Oh, I saw a little scamp running in the background.
Yeah, this is Lola.
Hi, Lola.
And then I've got little Poppy at my side here. So.
Are these sisters?
No. This is we got Lola just before lockdown, and Poppy's about 4 years old now.
Cute.
So yeah, love my little doggies. So, yeah.
Right, I'll let you go. Oh, there was one more thank you off Emma as well. So there you go. I thought better share that.
All right. Well, thank you. Okay. All right. Take care. Yeah. Cheers. Bye-bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.